Namaste yogis, welcome. Melissa here from Mystical Stone. So today's practice is a little ritual in restorative yoga, a little ritual for the new moon. We're going to set intentions. So if you can have a candle handy and just your lighter and somewhere saucer or somewhere safe to place it. One of those votives candles will do as well. And for props, we're going to need our bolster, 2 blocks, and a blanket. If you want more props, you want to get more comfortable, by all means, get more props. So we're going to take our candle. You can put your lighter aside for now. And we'll take our candle and just hold it in between your hands in Angelic Mudra. You can stand just comfortably. No need to look after alignment for this. Just feel grounded. Close your eyes. And just as you hold your candle in between your palms, just set the intention for this candle. The intention is that you're going to use it as a tool to pick up all that debris of energy around your energetic field, around your koshas, all your layers of consciousness and pranic layers with this candle. So as you hold it here between the hands, just imagine you can even visualize it as a soap, but it will pick up instead of dirt. It will just take all that stuff from your energy that you don't need to carry around anymore. So we're gonna maybe keep the eyes closed if that works for you. Take your candle and then bend your knees and reach down on your feet, and you might pass it around your feet. And you don't have to touch your skin. We're working with energy, and you can go up through your legs. If there are areas of your body that hurt or you feel cold, to stay maybe a little bit longer on any part of the body, even if it's just intuitive, maybe there is no reason why you should be, staying there. Maybe you do. And you can allow just your hand to organically move. It can be in a circular motion. It can be up and down. Just let your hand really take the candle in whichever parts of the body you feel it needs. And if you start connecting to this candle with your intention of picking up all the stuff that you don't need, you might start feeling some heat running through the hands. And might even start noticing your candle getting a little bit warmer. You can pass the candle through your chakras. So spending some time right at the base of the spine, going up and just above your pelvis and just below the navel. You can get the same on your sacrum, all the way up into your manipura, your stomach area, up to the heart, to the throat, the third eye, the crown. So once you feel you have picked up whatever it is you don't need, you can go a little bit further and just clearing your bubble, your energetic bubble. And remember, you're just imagining this candle picking up. We're going to take any darkness, whether it is any thought, situation, fear, concern for yourself, your loved ones, whatever it is has been, on your energetic field for the last while. You're just going to allow this candle to pick it up. We're going to turn that little spots of darkness in our energetic field into light once we light up the candle. So just go around as far as you need to. Notice your breath. Try to do it with both arms. And just take a few moments. And if there is any other part of your body that you're feeling called to spend extra time, or go ahead and you want to do an extra, passing the candle again from bottom to top again, one extra round, you're welcome to do that. And when you are ready, you can bring yourself back to your starting position, whether it was Tadasana or just standing comfortably, and place your hands once more at the center of the heart, and just breathing deeply, feeling the heat that you might are experiencing and feeling through your hands and into the candle. Let us take one more breath here. And when you are ready, tuck your chin onto your chest and open your eyes, and we're gonna go ahead and light up the candle. So if this was an intuitive class, we will look at the candle and see if it moves or if it has a lot of movement or dancing around. That means that your pranic energy is your pranic flow. It's very, very strong. That means you have a lot of activity, a lot of thoughts and stuff that you removed. If the flame goes a little lower and a little dimmer, then you need to rise your vibration with a lot of pranayama, a lot of Okido breaths, just to get your energy up. And at the end, depending on the size of the candle, if you put it on a saucer, we can actually look at the remainings of the wax and read into it. But that might be for another class. So we're gonna go ahead and lay down. Let me unmute.
Sorry,
Oh,
I put my video on, but not my sound. I said our candles are in a saucer, so we can do that after.
Oh, but that's perfect. Yes,
Okay.
and then you can send me pictures of the remainings, and then we can do reading on it. Yes, please. Okay, so we're gonna start on laying down on our backs with you can put your block, your bolster, sorry, on top of the blocks, and just so that you don't have to, you can put the bolster just straight down on the floor. It will give you a deeper back bend. It all depends what feels right. And we're gonna start laying down. You can bring yourself a little lower so that you don't have a big arch on your lower back. Mostly you want to have that nice stretch on your upper back, opening the heart center. For your legs, bend your knees, bring your feet mat width apart, and then allow your knees to fall in towards the center. Roll the weight onto the inner edges of your feet. Bring your arms by your sides, palms facing up. You can adjust your head. You can have your blanket. If you feel like your head is falling back, remember that an extra prop like a blanket or a little pillow can do, just so that you have a neutral neck. Hands by your sides, close your eyes and breathe. And notice the quality of your breath. We will start with that open hearted position. This energy of the new moon is always inviting us to reflect on the things that we need to release, finally let go of, because we don't want to take them into the next phase of the next period of our life, the next lunar period, if you like, because we really want to set the intention of what is that we need to clear out before we start actually thinking about what we need to bring in. So with the open heart, we're just gonna allow the thoughts to flow. And if there is anything that you might be wrestling with in your mind, you can hold the thought as you breathe in and out. And when you are ready, you can allow the thought to go with your exhalation. Don't wrestle with a thought if it doesn't want to go. That's okay, hold it in your mind. And continue to bring the awareness to the breath and go back to the thought and back to the breath for the next few rounds. rising and falling. Now, whatever thought you have chosen or it has manifested in your mind as you focus on your breath and the thought, you're going to pick a word for that one situation or whatever it is that your mind is telling you. So whether you're looking for peace or strength, whether you're looking for harmony, whatever it is that you need, whatever quality within yourself you need to tune in, you're gonna hold that image in your mind, your sankalpa, your intention. So go ahead and find that one word so you can vibrate with that consciousness of whichever word you have chosen, and continue to breathe slowly and mindfully. Let us take one more breath here, full deep breath. And when you're ready, slowly bring your knees wide, just do the same distance as your ankles, and then extend your legs. You can bring your legs towards the corners of your mat, like a star pose posture. Adjust your hips if you need to, and continue to breathe, holding the word in your mind, holding your intention. Wiggle your toes on your next breath. Move your feet slowly side to side. Wiggle your fingers. Once again, bend your knees, bring your foot soles on the floor, and use your arms to help you. You're gonna fall onto your favorite side. Use your arms to support you as you slide down your prop. And rest here in your fetal position for a few moments. Just notice your breath, notice your mind. And you may use your top hand to slowly help yourself up on your next exhalation. Now, without rushing, we're going to sit close to the bolster. If you can find your way onto your right side. You may do that. You can have both knees together, stack them here, or you can have the top foot back a little bit, resting the top knee on the bottom foot. This is all according to what your hips are saying, so don't force it. Now from here, you have a couple of options. One is to lay sideways on the bolster. You can even pass your arm under the bolster and hug it. You could bring your arms by your side. If it works for your spine and for your hips, you may rotate your torso towards the bolster and rest over it. Maybe your gaze goes to the right. This once again will depend on your spine and your hips, and you can keep your knees together. If you have your extra prop, your blanket, you can have it under your head. And you're gonna find your way into that position that is very, very soothing, comfortable. Shift around if needed. Just make sure that when you get onto the prop, it's not the bolster is not digging into your rib cage. So really adjust that you're able to still breathe deeply. If you have extra props and you want to put a blanket in between your knees, you're welcome to do that as well. I'll play around with the props until you find that position that works for you. Then relax here. Close your eyes and breathe. And all you want in this position is to feel very supported. And sometimes when we are doing the, we're resting on these positions with a lot of props, it takes a while for us to get into that place where we can truly let go. So do not hesitate in shifting until you find that place, because once you get there, you really want to relax, release, and start tuning in with your breath. If there is any thought that might comes to you, pay attention if this is something that you would like to release, something that maybe it's time for you to put out of your hands and into better hands. And you may allow it to go with every exhalation. Sometimes we have to do that many times. But for the next few breaths, just focus on releasing whenever the thought that might be keeping you from experiencing full breaths returns. Just let it go with the exhalation over and over. Once you feel that sense of peace, maybe on your tummy, your heart center, return to your Sankalpa. If it's the same thought, or you've been in the same situation that keeps coming back and you want to keep using the same Sankalpa, you're welcome to do that. If there's a different thought and it needs you to call in a different quality within you, just call in that quality. Just name it. Name it in your mind and breathe through it. Don't let your mind go away. Breathe deeply. We're going to take 2 more breaths here. And when you finish with that exhalation, if your knee was resting on your foot or down on the floor, you're gonna bring it up and use your arms to help yourself up. On your next exhalation, place your hands under the shoulders and very slowly and mindfully shift onto the other side. No rush. Once again, we're gonna get our hips close to the bottom of the bolster. Stack your knees or rest your top knee down on the foot or on the floor. You can just lean over the bolster and just have this side resting position without twist. That's okay. You might still get a nice stretch through your hip flexor. If you want to go into the twist, remember to check in with your hips, and maybe your gaze goes away from the knees. It all depends on the neck as well. You can keep your gaze towards the knees and still do that twist. So you will be doing the twist when your shoulders are parallel to the floor, and making sure that you are adjusting your top leg so that it's not overly stretching your hip. You don't want any torquing sensation on any joint, including your spine. And once you are on your position, if you need to shift around, you do that until you feel fully supported. If you need extra props, get your extra props. And once you get to that place that feels right for you, and start checking in with your breath. And start checking in with your mind. And instead of turning right away into the intention of what we are bringing in, we just give up space. We give a space at the beginning to check in with the breath and see if any thought, any concern, anything else arises. And then we call in on the energy that we need at that very moment. So every time we shift, we could just hold onto the one word, but we're just allowing anything else that might be stagnant, that needs to be moved and released, and just observe. Sometimes it's a sticky thought, and it just keeps, like a boomerang, keeps coming back and coming back. So we just breathe through it. We hold it in the mind. We don't fight it away. We just hold it, observe it. And whenever you find that peace in your belly and your heart, then we start calling in that quality, that intention. Once you get into that part where you're using your sankalpa, continue to breathe deeply. Let us take 2 more breaths here. And if your knee is down on the floor or on your foot, you may move it up. Once you stack your legs, you may use your hands, your arms to help yourself up. Slowly watch for your neck. No rushing here. We're gonna keep the blanket nearby just in case. And move the bolster across the mat, keeping the 2 blocks at the top of the mat. We're going to go again towards the right side, lay over the bolster. By the way, if the bolster is too high, it feels like too much, you can have your blanket next to it to minimize the stretch. Some people really like the big stretch, but maybe your body doesn't like it that much, so that's okay. We just minimize it by getting that blanket under and then lay over the bolster, resting the shoulders straight down onto the floor. And then your head goes either on a pillow or extra blanket or blocks if you have them handy. What you want is to make sure that you're not pressing into your rib cage. If you want to go straight down on the floor, that's okay too. Make sure you make space between the hip and the rib cage. Press your shoulder down, head down. A few options for you here. You can bring both knees once again together, keep them bent at a 90-degree angle. You can allow the top knee to rest down on the bottom foot or down all the way down on the floor. Or if it works for you, which it may not work for your lower back and your hips, is extending both legs. But once you get into that position, if you choose this, you want to make sure that your hips are stacked. So very often we tend to lean forward, and we're gonna try to stay with the joint stacked if that works. If that doesn't work, you feel like you're losing your balance, bend your knees, that's okay. Top arm maybe reaches overhead and then release it so that it rests behind your ear. If that is pinching your shoulder, you can bring your hand on your lower back, but your palm facing away for your angel wing pose. Or rest your hand in front of your chest, palms touching. Whichever version works for you, just make sure that you're comfortable and that you can let go here. Like in the other poses, you may take extra time to get to that place that will work for you. Do not hesitate in getting extra blankets. You can have a blanket in between your knees. You can bring your head a little bit higher, but remember, a prop under your hips to minimize the side stretch. Each shape will move a different energy channel. So on this side, we're opening up the Ida Nadi or the lunar side. You're closing up the right side, pressing against it with the pillow or with the bolster. And we're sending the prana into the left side. Think about that expansion. We're going to take a few moments as the energy moves. And if there is any thoughts, any sensations, any ideas, anything that comes to you, I'll just take a moment to check in whether you want to keep it or it's time for you to let it go. Once you decide this thought, if it's serving you in any way, you can breathe in and out just to integrate it into your energy field. If it doesn't serve you anymore, focus on it on every exhalation. So let the apanic flow to release that energy. And then find your sankalpa, whatever is the energy that you need to connect with. I will leave you to it. Don't let your mind wander. Let us take 2 more breaths here. If your arm is overhead, circle your arm in front of your chest. If your arm is behind you, very slowly and mindfully bring it forward. Bend your knees and stack them. We'll take a few moments here on the side, just observing the breath. And once more, you're gonna use your top hand to help yourself up. On your next exhalation, without rushing, we're gonna take our time to turn onto the other side. Trying to use the same amount of prop. So if you sat on a blanket, try to do the same thing on this side. Unless you didn't use a blanket and it hurts, do not hesitate on get extra props. Lay over your left side, press your shoulder down and your head on your blocks. And once you get onto your position, play around with your props. If you went into the arrow pose, if your legs were extended and that feels good for you, you can try it again. If on this side is just not doable, that's okay. We'll bend the knees, adjust to the needs of this side. We're gonna be working with Pingala Nadi, opening up the solar energies within. And just like in Pingala Nadi, we're gonna activate that channel. We're gonna open it up and send the breath into the right side. Remember that solar energy or Pingala Nadi will bring up different vibes that you might experience through Ida. Ida is cooler, it's a little bit darker, a little bit lower energy. Pingala, however, is sharp, bright. It doesn't mean the one is negative and the other one is positive. It's just different sensations. So you may notice this one is about fire, can also mean anger. The other side is about coolness and water. So it's more about emotions. So maybe whatever thoughts manifest on this side differ from what you were experiencing on Ida Nadi. And we'll take a moment here as well, just to check in what arises. And then to decide whether we need this energy or we need to let it go. If you need the energy, you're gonna focus on the thought with the inhalation, with your pranic flow. If you need to let it go, bring the awareness mostly on your exhalation, and you can even visualize that energy leaving your energetic field and your body as you release that breath. If there is a distressing thought around, stay there until you feel that calmness on your tummy with breath, just filling up your tummy with breath. And once you feel that calmness, call in your sankalpa. That quality that you are calling upon, that is already within you. And are you going to repeat it in your mind for the next few breaths? When you go into your pose, if you chose an arm position, maybe try to match the other side. And for some reason, maybe this side doesn't want to do the same, feel free to adjust it. It's okay. No pinching sensation on the shoulder, hip, or spine. Continue to breathe deeply. Let us take 2 more breaths here. Full deep breath. Circle your arm forward if it's on top, or bring it forward if it's behind you. Bend your knees and stack them. We'll take a few moments here. And when you are ready, use your top hand to slowly help yourself up on your next exhalation. Once from your seated position, you can sit on a blanket or on a block just to tilt your pelvis forward. And then from here, extend your legs on a V shape. Depending on your knees and your hips, if you want, you can have blankets under the knees. You can have one of your blankets and fold it, make a little noodle and have it right under the knees just so that they don't hyperextend. Like you don't have to, this is just an option if you know that it's not so comfortable to have your legs extended. And then have your bolster in front of you and rest your forehead down. So sideways, your spine should be neutral. Your pelvis should be neutral. So whether it is a blanket or a bolster that you're using to create that shape, that alignment, you're gonna let your tailbone go back, have your bolster hinge from your hips, and whether you rest your forehead on your bolster this way, depending, you can have blocks under the bolster, rest it down and stack your hands. No, we're not aiming to go into a deep extension like we would do on a yin pose. We just want to get to a place where you feel a gentle but nice stretch across your hamstrings. You may feel something on your back, but nothing too demanding, just nice and gentle. Once you get to your position, oh, if you have a chair handy and you don't have a bolster, you can do that against a chair too. Unlike in Hatha Yoga, we're not going to keep our feet active. We don't need to be flexing and stretching. We want to find that position. Once the pelvis is neutral, the spine is neutral, you are welcome to round your upper back. You're even welcome to tuck your chin slightly. You don't want your head falling down. You don't want to put that demand on the neck, so have that support, but just slightly. If it's a little bit lower, that's okay. We're gonna focus on the back body. So maybe from your heels all the way up to your glutes and all the way up into your back, into your neck, back of the hip. You may focus on that pranic flow from the heels to the ground. And as you exhale from the ground all the way back down to your heels. And just like in the other poses, we're going to allow the thoughts, feelings to arise. And whenever you are ready, you're gonna call in your affirmation, your word, your sankalpa, and hold that word as you inhale and exhale. Remember, before you do that, you want to just check in if whatever arises, you want to keep it or you want to release it. Like new moon energy is all about decluttering the mind, the energy, the house. Just making space for the new. Continue to breathe, continue to hold your word. We're going to take 2 more breaths here. And slowly and mindfully, when you are ready, you're gonna come up to an upright position. And take your bolster, put it across your mat. If you're practicing on your mat, we're gonna lay back again. We're gonna end up with a back bend, but maybe a little more pronounced. If your back allows, you don't have to. You can have a pillow or your blocks for your back, for your head, or a blanket. You're gonna get your upper back against the bolster and allow your shoulders to fall down towards the floor. Now, here is the deal. Depending on your neck, this is gonna be like a supported Matsyasana or fish pose. First of all, if this is too much for your back, you can tuck your tailbone and then release. If you need to minimize the arch on your back, just like before, you can have a prop under your hips just to get your hips a little bit higher so that you don't get too deep onto that back bend. Then for your upper back, for your neck, once you have the bolster across the upper back, let your shoulders roll down. And then depending on the neck, you may rest the crown of the head towards the floor, but there is no weight on the head. So this is your fish or Matsyasana pose. If that is not too much, you can have 1 block or 2 blocks so that you have more of a neutral neck or even extended depending how high your block. However, you do not want to bring your head too high. So we don't want to hyperextend the neck, so that's important. So once you find the position that's comfortable for you, gonna bring your arms maybe at a star pose posture towards the upper corners of the mat. And maybe you allow your legs to go wider or closer together. Try a different positions for the arms, maybe T position. And make sure it's not pinching your shoulder. And the first version of the back bend where we put the bolster over the blocks and have just the space between the shoulder blades at the bottom of the bolster. If that is the version that works better for your back, you are welcome to do that as well. This pose is gonna help us to send the prana into the higher chakras. So working a little more into the anahata, the heart center, into the vishuddha, especially if your head is down towards the floor, you feel that openness of the throat. And even if you have a little bit of extension through your neck and your chin is not so close to your chest, You might be able to feel the prana flowing through that channel, through that energy center, sorry, not that channel. Remember that the Anahata chakra is where we hold into all those emotions that sometimes are hard for us to deal with, and just allowing them to, whether you're going to integrate them or you're going to release them, whichever way, just do it gently at your own pace. If there is anything that feels maybe a little bit stuck on your throat, on your vishuddha, you may exhale and make the sound ha. And notice how you feel. And inhale through your nostrils. You can repeat that 2 more times if you're doing the sound ha. So when we do the ha breath, it allows those blockages of the vishuddha just to go, so that we can find our voice. So we're able to express ourselves from a place of love, because we're also working with the Anahata, which is the chakra of love and compassion, but still finding our voice, finding our words. And if you like to bring the energy a little bit higher, you may roll your eyes towards the space between the eyebrows, the Ajna chakra, or the third eye, and just continue to focus here. Just like before, if there are any thoughts and emotions, let them go with the breath or integrate them with the breath. And then find your sankalpa. Continue to breathe. Let us take 2 more breaths here. If you are on your Matsyasana and your head is all the way back onto the floor, wiggle your fingers and slowly and mindfully interlace your fingers behind your head. Place the weight of the head on your hands, and with your shoulders and arms, pull your head gently up. Tuck your chin onto your chest, like looking towards your toes, getting that stretch through the back and through your neck. And from here, making sure that you're not using your neck for this, you're using your shoulders, your arms. Bend your knees, go sideways, hold onto your head, and then whenever you're ready, use your hand to help yourself up. You are welcome to go onto a Shavasana, no props, just lay flat on the ground. We'll take a few moments just so that we equalize our body after all those twists and bends. I'm just gonna release ourselves down. You can use your hands to adjust your head once again. Your hands can be by your hips on an A-frame. You can bring them at a T position or over or towards the corners of the mat, the star pose. Whichever position works for your shoulders. And then just pay attention to your back, your hips. If you need any stretch right now, you're welcome to go for it. So maybe bending the knees, resting the feet on the floor and swinging the knees side to side. Maybe you choose to hug your knees and rock side to side or go into a happy baby, holding onto the back of the legs, onto the ankles or onto the big toes, and maybe rocking side to side. You can go straight onto your Shavasana and relax. If you would like to go into butterfly position and stay there instead of Shavasana, you're welcome to do that too. If you found that you were tuning in with a particular energy today, you can call it now again and just focus on it as you continue to breathe slowly. If you are on your butterfly position and you want to come out, slowly bring your knees up and extend your legs. If you need more time on butterfly or Shavasana, you're welcome to stay there. If you're ready and at your own time, wiggle your toes and fingers. Move your feet side to side. Stretch your arms either to the sides or overhead. Legs closer together, stretch and tense and squeeze every muscle tight, 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 balloon face or not. And exhale, release. And again, flex or point your feet and squeeze every muscle tight, tight, tight. Exhale. Last one, make it count. Breathe in and stretch and tense and squeeze. And exhale, release. Move onto your side. When you're ready, take a few moments here. Use your top hand whenever you're ready to come up. Slowly find your way onto your seated position. You can sit on your bolster, your blocks or blanket. You can sit cross-legged, extend your legs into a V shape, or bring one leg on top of the other. Just making sure your hips and your knees are okay with whichever version you chose. Bring your hands together at the center of the heart. Relax your shoulders back and down. Tuck your chin slightly and press the crown of the head towards the sky. Let your jaw be relaxed. Maybe draw a smile on your face. Maybe you smile with your eyes and with your heart. We're gonna seal our practice with our metta mantra. May I be happy. May I be healthy. May I be safe. May I be brave. May I be peaceful. May you be happy. May you be healthy. May you be safe. May you be brave. May you be peaceful. May all be happy. May all be healthy. May all be safe. May all be brave. May all be peaceful. Breathe in and expand. And through your nostrils, exhale. Inhale to Om. Observe. Tuck your chin onto your chest and open your eyes, gaze forward. And as always, we're gonna build up the extra prana. Shower yourself. And just like we did with the candle, we're gonna shake off whatever it is we don't need. Thank you. Namaste.
Namaste.